Welcome to How to Infuse. In today's project we're going to change out the water valve on this Whirlpool washing machine. We've been having a problem lately where it stops before or right when it gets to a rinse because it's waiting for the cold water to fill in, and since that valve is not actuating properly and letting water in there, it never rinses, so we have to manually make it rinse by going through the wash cycle a second time. So hopefully we're going to correct that problem today. We order the part. It's a little more complicated water valve than some of the other washing machines. Yours may be slightly different, but the idea is still the same. There's little magnets in each side that actuate based on a series of switches that let either cold water or hot water in, or both. This particular one has a little thermal resistor that is used to kind of gauge the temperature of the water. That way it can adjust the water temperature based on the hot, warm, and cold switch. So we're going to first disconnect the power, then the water connections. Try not to make too much of a mess, but invariably in a job like this you're going to make some mess, so you might want to have some towels. And then we'll pull it out to where we can access and see how we get inside. Most likely we're going to have to take the control panel off and then remove the housing of the washer, but let's see what it looks like once we get it out. Alright, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and hit the washer breaker and unplug the washer. Now we know we don't have any power here, so we can get electrocuted, or not get electrocuted. Then I'm going to reach in here, and I guess I should zoom in, but there's some water spigots. They're kind of like garden hose faucets, and you're going to turn those clockwise to turn them off. Now there's still going to be water pressure in the line, so we are going to get some mess when we undo these hoses. I have a dryer that has a steam mister, so there's a second hose hooked up to the cold water. I'll pull the drain out. And then I'm going to go ahead now and loosen up these water hoses, and we are getting some drip. Just kind of sticking them in there. There are washers in these hoses. You don't want to lose them. Alright, so with everything disconnected, the next step is going to be to get this control panel off. Now a lot of different washers have screws in the back that will hold them down, one on each corner, or possibly a screw up here in the front on each side, okay, that holds it in. There's a couple of screws back here, but I don't think that those are actually holding the control panel. I think this is one of the types that has clips underneath, so I got myself you can use a putty knife, but you're more likely to scratch the finish up with metal. I happen to have these plastic ones, and so I'm gonna release these little retainer clips in here. They're kind of hard to find, but if you jiggle this and slide just under here and then push, just kind of be gentle, and if there's release clips, it should come loose like that. We'll go ahead and do that on the other side. And then, if everything, Alright, okay, this should just lift. And there we go. And in fact, those other two screws were holding some plastic retainers there. It's a good thing I didn't take them off, because now the panel is being retained on the back cover. Alright. Alright, next step is we want to remove this cover. This should be interesting. I haven't done this before. It looks like I might want to disconnect this. And then let's take a standard screwdriver. There we go. I'm a little bit scared these are going to fall down in somewhere, so I'm going to remove these. Now, if I understand this correctly, this should lift away. Now, isn't that something? Maybe you recognize a part there, our water valve. In any event, we have pretty good access to our water valve now. It's just a question of what's holding it on. Alright, let me take a look at the new one and see if there's any screw holes to give me a hint as to how it's attached to the back panel. Okay, so there appears to be a single screw hole, but there's no screw back here. It's just plastic clips, and I'm going to see if I can. Alright, it looks like I'm going to have to use screw. Wait a minute, I think it just came loose. It did just come loose by me putting my weight on it. Let me show you that from the front. So from the front, I just pushed. There was one little black push-in pin, which is really cheesy, but wow, gotta like that. Alright, let's undo the electrical connection. Alright, easy enough. And it is stuck into the back panel with like a zip tie retainer pin. Alright. So there we go, our water valve. Nice and dirty. And now let's see if we can get our new one in. There, could that be it? Appears to be it. Alright, I know it came with a new zip tie clip. Route it around, plug in our new plug, and then there was that one little black thing that was retaining clip that was in this hole. I don't know if you can see where I just stuck that, so let me zoom in. But you can see here where my middle finger is pointing. This is the other end of that clip, just to kind of hold it in place, apparently. But I think we are done already, believe it or not, with our new water valve. Okay, so I put the wiring diagram that I dropped back in here for the next guy who might need it. With our water valve change, I'm going to go ahead and lift. Hopefully I didn't bend this or mess this up. Oh, you know what? Our drain and all that on the other side is now going to be in the way. appears to be set again. And let's remember what we did. We disconnected a wire plug, and just gonna make sure I have that all the way snapped on so it has good contact. And then we remove these clips. And it looks like don't want to kink any hoses. That was easy enough. There we go. All right. See if we can get this back in. Now there's some plastic tabs on the bottom of this. You want to be sure you don't break these plastic tabs. They have to go into the two holes first. Don't worry about the metal clip. There we go. Turn it off. Now we're just going to make our connections again. Alright, now we're going to make our hose connections back again. Try to make sure we have the right ones. This is our cold water connection. Hot water connection. We use the channel locks to just tighten them up a little to make sure they don't leak. Not too tight. Then we'll put our drain hose back in place. Turn our water spigots on. Then we'll just wait a second and kind of check to see if there's any dripping. Seems okay. Make our power connection. Turn our fuse back on. Put our washer back in place. Kind of want to check and make sure I'm not kinking any hoses. Alright. Cold water is flowing in, which was not flowing in before. Okay, found that video helpful. Give me a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and hopefully that saved you a few dollars, letting you change your water valve yourself, or at least gave you some knowledge that you could proceed with your problem. And even if you have somebody fix it, you'll be a little more knowledgeable and understand what they're charging you for and what they're doing. So until next time, thanks for watching, and appreciate the views. Don't forget the thumbs up. Bye.